in 2008, I was shot 8 times. I got shot in my face, shot in my face here. I got shot in the side of my face here. The bullet came in through one side and exited out the other. I got shot twice in my abdomen. I got shot 3 times in my arm and once in the back of the head. All dealing with drugs at a young age, just moving too fast. But all I remember me just going on a stretcher and covering my eyes with the mask, and that was it. I woke up 3 days later in the hospital bed. I had this big transformer thing on my arm. One of the bullets that went in here, it shattered my whole bone in my arm, so I only had one piece of bone and these 2 big metal rods sticking out to hold it together. The bullet that came in my face and shattered my eye socket, and the bullet that came in through here and exited out here shattered my jaw. So my whole right side of my face, all the bones were shattered. They just wired everything shut and said it'll be healed. That day, I was with a friend of mine who I went to school with, and he was killed that day. By the time I'm ready to get out the hospital, it was about a week, so-called recover from my wounds, and the police are standing there saying, let's go to jail. I'm like, what, for what? Get in the interrogation room, and they said I murdered my friend. I'm like, what? So I spent about 40 days in the jail just trying to figure out between the lawyers what's going on. God had his hand on me that day, and his purpose was for something else, and it wasn't to die that day. I wasn't to die that day. Prayer kept me. My mother had a praying mother, had people praying over me all the time. I ran the street, came in 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, I was fine at 18, 19, making $150,000 a week. You know, when I ended up in jail, my cell was directly, the only window there was a cemetery, as far as you could see. Cemetery, straight, left to right. I was in there, and only thing that could bring me out there was God. Prayer, because at the end of the day, when my lawyer sat down with me and my prosecutor, he said, you're going down 35 years. My own lawyer came to me and said, you know, well, you're 22, you could do 35 years, you'll be out by 50, 60. So my own lawyer didn't even have hope in me. So my aunt, who's a pastor in Delaware, came down and gave me a Bible. I've always been in the church, grew up in the church. This is the first time I actually read a Bible other than like a textbook. I read it like a textbook. And this time, every word stuck out to me, every sentence, every parable, everything just buried down in my soul. One was Psalm 39 and 29 that I repeated day in and day out, because the people who actually did this to me set the whole thing up. They had fake witnesses in there to say that I did it at this time, and et cetera, et cetera. So everything was downhill for me. I didn't have anybody on my side. I was by myself. So prayer, day in and day out. My mouth was wired shut, so I was fasting at the same time. So prayer and fasting for 40 days straight. I couldn't. And God just revealed himself daily to me. Daily, giving me favor, you know. But rewind back, that got released after the 40 days. And this time I had an ankle bracelet where I had to be in the house by 10 o'clock. This time now, the news broke, and it was in the newspapers, in the television, with my whole address, everything out there. They haven't captured the people who did this. So if anybody want to come and finish the job, I'm in the house after 10 o'clock and before 6, so they know my schedule. And when I tell you, God gave me, as I say, sweet sleep. My lawyer called me and said, well, you know, a new prosecutor came on the case. I met with the prosecutor. He made it plain. He said, look, we're going to do a lie detector test. If you pass it, you drop everything. If you fail it, you go to trial. Simple as that. he seemed to have a little bit more compassion to the situation, and he just couldn't understand what happened. Did the test, he asked the 4 questions. About a week later, my lawyer calls me and says, "You've been acquitted of all your charges." Mind you, I had charges from drug trafficking, gun possession, about 15 charges. And just dropped, just like that of a phone call. I fell straight on my face and started praising God, you know. So to me, prayer is so essential to have in your life. And like I said, I can relate to you because I've been there. I've been there before. I know what it is to be in a situation where you feel like they don't have anything other than the streets. You know, been incarcerated, seen the lifestyle. All to this day, I struggle with the things that I've seen and I've done. And only prayer, only God could help me come out of the situation. So with ASLPN being such a strong prayer network, to be able to cling on to something to keep me from falling back into the snare, because God definitely has a bigger plan, because the devil had it meant for me on September 28, 2008. That was it for me. So every day I'm thankful